You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 4th special meeting of the Michigan City Historic Preservation Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. Larry, could you do roll call again? I'm sorry to.
Next microphone. Can somebody write it? Anthony's here.
Yeah. Can you write it down, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay.
See the secretary?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll just start. Lawrence Zimmer here. Attorney Steve Hale. Here. Present. Sylvia Martin,
Present.
Deb Parcell,
Present.
Joyce Dalton,
Present.
Dan Granquist,
I'm here.
Pat Matsey,
Here.
Amy Bowman,
Here.
Greg Coulter is not here. Who else is not here?
Dwayne.
Dwayne Hurd is not here. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, and then Anthony is attending via Zoom.
Thank you.
So we have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have approval of the agenda? Has everyone had a chance to look it over?
I know no change. I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to skip down now right to number. Oh, we need a vote. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay. We're going, because of time, we're going to skip down to number 6 and go right into our C of A's.
Okay. Seriously, I did not print the staff report, so hang on a second. I gotta pull it up. I don't know why I didn't print it. I printed everything else but that, so that's okay.
Is this what you want?
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is COA 2025-004. Applicant is Window World. Owners are Eric and Janet Bregeman. Is that right? Okay. I met them at their house, but I forgot the name, the last name. This is 205 East 10th. It's rated non-contributing. And that's due to a lot of changes to siding and things like that over the years. Architectural style is Italianate and was built around 1880. So the proposed project is to replace all existing windows with vinyl windows. So we've got some pictures of those. Went out to the property last Tuesday, took a lot of pictures inside mostly. Just a little background, you'll see it in the pictures that I took. This is a little bit different than some. Generally, our most deterioration is on the exterior of a building. And this time it's more on the interior because of steam heat that's in there. And so the steam from the radiators actually has deteriorated the wood more from the inside. There's storm windows on the outside. So a lot of the bottom sash lower rails are deteriorated, and there's also almost all of the windows, I think maybe not the ones in the front, but just about all of the windows have bracing that's been applied, metal bracing or wood bracing to hold those corners together. So that means those joints on the corners have deteriorated over time. So there definitely is some deterioration, especially to the lower sashes. So finding of fact, there are currently, it should be 3 vinyl replacement windows. I'm sorry, I don't know what it says. 8. There's 3 vinyl replacement windows that are all in the rear of the house. The balance of the windows are wood windows. Numerous windows have deteriorated lower sash bottom rails and applied corner bracing. The remaining wood is in pretty good condition. Vinyl windows can be replaced with vinyl. Wood windows should be repaired unless they're determined to be deteriorated beyond repair. Vinyl windows are not recommended and generally not approved in the historic district. The property is rated non-contributing, and so what the guidelines say that means is review of projects involving non-contributing buildings will follow the guidance as found under new construction, which also says no vinyl windows. Exterior trim and the window crowns should be repaired or replaced to match. I think the proposal was to wrap the window trim with aluminum, but keeping those crowns is one of the very few characteristics of the house that exist anymore. Most of the character's been removed long ago, but that would be an important detail to retain. So the recommendation is just our typical recommendation for windows. Vinyl windows are not generally approved, so the ones that are there could be replaced with new vinyl windows. We always recommend a 30-day extension on the wood windows to determine if there's possibility of repair. I wouldn't say they're beyond repair, but I don't know how expensive that could be. I really don't. That needs to be reviewed by someone that knows that kind of thing. If approval of replacement is considered by the commission, then those replacement windows should be from the pre-approved list or an equivalent.
Are there any questions or comments?
Just for clarification, you said the three vinyl windows that are existing are all in the
They're in the back.
back of the property.
Yeah, we've got some pictures if we could see
Sure.
them.
Drew, do you have the pictures?
So there in the back, you can see the one on the first floor and the one diagonal from that. So it'd be the second floor on the right. And I forget where the third one is. So, yeah. But if you can scroll on through, there's a number of them. So there you can see that's a really bad one there, how deteriorated that is. I mean, that would be a major repair, definitely. Even though I'm not terribly experienced, you can see that. So, and then you can see others, and most of them have that bracing on it. See there, they used wood to hold it together on the corners. So there's a lot of them that rattle. That's usually from the parting stop is what the wood that holds the window in place. And that is loose, needs to be changed. So that would, again, I don't know what else involved with that, but some more. That was one of the better ones there. Yeah, that was the end of it. So you can see kind of some of the damage that they're dealing with.
Does Window World only offer vinyl windows? Yeah.
Anthony, I'm going to
All the glass is intact. For the most part, just that one with the tape looks like it.
In regards to the glass that you mentioned, we really don't have any idea what is the original glass from the home that was built in 1882 to what got replaced. I believe when we purchased it 30 years ago, we may have replaced 2 lower panes of glass, but so the rest is what it is from origination, I believe.
Any questions? Do you have any other questions for us?
Not sure. I don't know what we're not familiar with this process, so I don't know what happens other than it sounds like report like there's not going to do windows. That's, I mean, just based on what was said, but it sounds like there's a possibility we can do windows. I don't know.
Not vinyl windows, though.
That presents a problem, so. You know, that's not gonna happen. You know, I understand the process. You know, if we had a historical building that had all the great features that everybody would like to have, we would definitely redo our building to bring it back to that. Our building, probably the most historical part of the building may be the windows. Everything else from the siding to the pitches to the porches has already been done prior to us. This is just how we got it. Through the years, we've taken a lot of care to do reconstruction of interior support things and the whole inside and to make it the most historical looking as we could. And we feel that we're in that same we want the neighbor to be historical too, you know. Being there for 30 years, I have not seen the extent of maybe which this committee does that has taken over the area. I haven't seen it catch on fire yet with everybody redoing their buildings historically. We live on a street where probably in our block, there's like 3 to 4 of them are just bad. And so, you know, our building, just so you know, because we have the boiler heat, it's a single pane of glass. The boiler heat gets warm on the inside with the plaster. That weird storm window doesn't create enough barrier, so then the window sweats, it freezes, then it comes down, and so we're kind of at a spot where it's left in the condition it's in, it's going to continue to get worse, you know, without doing something. We start thinking about historically aluminum storm windows that we've had on there. I don't know how long, maybe since 1950 they were put in. I don't know. They're not historical. The things drive me nuts having them. And probably if they did a better job, we might not even be at this spot. I don't know. But, you know, we're feeling that for the long-term betterment of the building to match and what we've done to do that project is the best thing for that building, to preserve the structure, the windows, stop the sweating, for a safety purpose of the operation of the windows. Also with the tempered glass in areas, which we've discussed, and Sue has given a couple of things on that, but we still would like to do tempered glass where we think it should be. As well as for energy efficiency, the best product is to do that. I reached out to 3 other ones to get bids, and actually the majority of the window companies are not doing wood. There may be a few, and I know there's a couple listed on the information that was available through the website, but of the places that I was able to contact and get bids from, they did not offer that. And I'm just assuming it's just because of the maintenance long term. You know, it's a very difficult thing to keep wood constantly painted, you know, covered. It's more maintenance involved. So go ahead.
Well, and because of the fact that we use this property for a vacation rental, for interior and exterior maintenance in terms of cleaning the windows, having the availability of fresh air when the weather is mild, to be able to open windows freely without struggle and without concern that it's going to hurt somebody because it's going to fall out or the glass break or whatever, vinyl windows seem to be the most appropriate for that. Yeah, so.
There are companies that make wood windows that are clad in vinyl. Have you checked into any of those?
They're clad in fiberglass.
Fiberglass or aluminum. I've seen that clad in
I've never seen
aluminum.
them.
That's what the-
Anderson is a vinyl
I
clad
was gonna s-
window.
And
Yeah.
I-
may have.
Anderson is the one that I have I don't live in a historic, but that's what I have. And it's wood clad in vinyl.
Wood clad in vinyl?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the exterior has vinyl cladding on it that's like adhered directly. You would not know it. And then the inside is wood. Yeah.
Right, but that's Anderson windows. That-
They did, I don't know if they still do, but they did make a Tilden window as
They
well.
do, they
So-
still do.
So that would address the washing concern if that was something that the commission was going to approve, but
So, and I guess I get confused with, it's a wood window, but it's wrapped in vinyl, but we can't
just
have
on the
the
exterior.
exterior,
yeah.
but we can't have a vinyl window, I'm assuming because of the way it looks, because it seems like everything is kind of based on a presentation of the property.
It's a
that's-
couple features, yeah, that is part of it. Vinyl, generally speaking, vinyl windows tend to have less clear glass space because the frames are wider than the wood windows. So that's a lot of it. It's the downsizing of the glass that looks different. The other thing that seems to be an issue with vinyl windows is seal failure. Happens more commonly than it does in a wood window because of the differential of the expansion and contraction with wood and glass as opposed to vinyl and glass. Or fiberglass. Fiberglass is actually one of the very best. It's more similar in expansion contraction to glass, so.
I have a question for staff. So looking at your recommendation, so it says approval of replacing vinyl windows with new vinyl windows. Are those the three, like, so vinyl windows are already on the property?
There's 3 vinyl, 2 in the back, and then 1 is on the side in the back. Is that right?
And so they're looking to replace those windows, correct?
They're looking to replace all the
Well,
windows.
Well, right. So,
But those 3 could be
specifically talking
replaced with
about-
vinyl.
right, okay. So, and then your second part of it, where it says approval of replacement is considered, would that be the rest of the windows then?
Yeah,
Okay, I feel like I want to make a motion to approve this as submitted by staff just because it also allows for a 30-day extension for the applicant to go ahead and look at other options to replace the windows. I think that would be, I know it could be more costly because it would be a huge job, but I think having that time to explore and going deeper before we just outright approve or deny the vinyl windows. So I would like to make a motion to approve COA 2025-004 at property 205 East 10th Street, excuse me. Approval of replacing the vinyl windows with new vinyl windows, allowing a 30-day extension on wood windows to determine the possibility of repair. And if approval of replacement is considered, then replacement windows should be from the pre-approved list or equivalent.
Do I have a second?
But I kind of felt like we didn't finish the discussion. I mean, what do you mean?
That's why he's pushing.
Oh, well, I wasn't informed of that. Sorry. I thought we were still discussing this before we heard a
next
motion.
COA will be very short.
Well, we have a motion, so we need a second, and then we will discuss briefly.
I'll second the motion and we can continue discussion.
Okay. Larry, did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, it just that in your own words, you said that the house doesn't have a whole lot else going for it other than the windows. So I think that kind of makes for the argument that you should invest in those windows and make them the best they can be to give the building as much character as it deserves.
I have a question for the commission. So if basically we're giving him 30 days to determine whether or not the windows are repairable. So if the windows are deemed repairable, would he be then given alternative options from the board per se for different places where windows could possibly be made, or different alternatives, or is it, how will that process work? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah, 30 days gives them time to not only contact someone who might be able to repair them, but also to look at other window options. And we can give them a list of wood window repair contractors. I know we did that at the last meeting and they were able to connect with somebody like
That's what I
within a
was
week.
Too.
So we'll give them that information. They can look at other window options and then come back in March with all that information. And then we can revisit this and see where we want to go from there. If there's an option that works for them, if repairs feasible and affordable. And if not, then we can discuss final again, because a owner has the right to ask for anything,
That they
you know, so.
Okay, so now I can make my statement. I think that as far as the windows go, I think it would be advantageous for you guys to kind of put forth the effort to reach out to some individuals that maybe can repair it. I think the whole purpose of this district being considered historic is not just the windows or how they look. It's the complete aesthetic of the neighborhood. It is the deviation from the policies that govern those structures that make them historic. If you moved into the house and the historical part of that house was the windows, then that is your guiding factor for preserving that household as you entered into it, because that is your historic feature for that existing house, whereas other people may have historic roofs or they may have historic brickings. Once you acquire the property, that piece of that history, you agree to preserve. So in purchasing the property, you agree to preserve those windows if that is considered the only piece of a historic factor for that structure. As far as the planning department, we support the decision that the board has made in the motion. And we also agree that if you want to come in and discuss it with me, looking at different options, you always have that fact. You can always come back and can always ask for vinyl windows again. However, the standards are the standards, procedures are the procedures, and this body is here to govern those.
So are we allowed to speak now?
Yes.
Okay. This really feels like a waste of time, to be honest with you. I mean, we've met at the property, we've talked about it, we've scheduled time, we've done a lot of our research getting bids, and we've taken care of a building for a long time. And it just feels like this is like and you can say we have the right to come back, but based on everything that's happened, there's no reason to come back because it's going to be the same. I don't think anybody, no matter what we discover or do, it's still going to be the same situation we're in, where this was the product and the thing and the price point that we feel would be the best for our property. Now, I do not even know if this district was around 30 years ago or 35 when we bought the building. I do not know. At some point, maybe I'll take time to figure that out. I guess I'm also at the point of, I'm assuming if we decide just to do it, there might be a penalty, and then we pay a penalty or we just move on. I don't know the teeth that this has. I really don't. I haven't dealt with that yet. I do believe there's probably an option for that. I see it happening in the historic district many times with recent COAs that were approved and large projects that changed, and they just went ahead and did it. So I don't know. I thought we were just going through the process to do what you guys said, and I thought there was going to be an option to consider it, but it doesn't seem like that.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So I feel your frustration, and the commission definitely understands and sympathizes with you. That's why we give the 30-day extension sometimes. I know since I've been on the board, we have made some exceptions in certain cases. So I would recommend and I would feel comfortable with you all coming back. And again, if vinyl windows is the only option that is feasible for you all, then we have that discussion at that appropriate time. And who knows, the commission might just go ahead and approve it. So we do this so that we can preserve the integrity of the historical districts. And I just feel like to outright just say, yeah, go ahead and put the vinyl windows in, it would be, especially if that is the only historical aspect of your building. So I feel I understand where you are coming from, but we do have a job in a sense to do.
Can I ask you what what is the price difference between approved windows and vinyl windows?
I haven't gotten a full price for it, but based on sizes of some of the windows there, it's gonna be close to double.
Are all of the windows, the people that helped Mara and her husband, I feel like you need to have them come over and look at all, I'm assuming all of your windows are not probably in the same shape. Meaning some of them are probably better on different, sides of the house or whatever, not getting as much weather or whatever. And he might be able to say, or they might be able to say, well, you really only need, these windows need more, more applied to them than other windows. So it might balance out where it might,
You mean to
feasibly
fix them?
yeah. I mean,
We still have a single pane of glass.
yeah,
with no
that's
storm.
true. Right.
So
I
we're still looking
understand that.
at-
We still need to modernize the situation
So
where
either-
you're right.
And then we're
either-
back to the
Square
main
one, right.
reasons of why we want to
Back
go for
to square
energy
one.
efficiency, safety, and
Right,
all
right,
those
right.
things. And I think we're trying to put a square
Mm.
peg in a round hole. We have a non-remarkable, non-contributing home that happens to be in the historical district. And there's nothing historical about our property other than these ancient windows that are in there, of which, seeing the original photo of our home last week, as you can tell, you can't tell whether they're wood or vinyl from the street or from the side or from the back. And so, you were talking about the aesthetic of the neighborhood. Well, if you look to the left, right on Pine Street, and go down a couple of houses down, there you will find vinyl windows, homes not in full repair. Now, as a business owner, trying to lure people into our community to come and enjoy their time here, I would be concerned with that aesthetic of the homes that need repair. All we're trying to do is do the last upgrade to this 1882 building with vinyl windows that are more cost efficient for us and have a lot more benefits than trying to pay out the wazoo and have windows, single pane, that are going to get long wear and tear as it goes. So,
Our
know,
function
that-
here as the Historic Preservation Commission is to enforce the law as it's been passed by the Michigan City City Council. These are ordinances. So we have ordinances to follow. So this is not arbitrary and capricious for us to simply willy-nilly make decisions. So there are guidelines, there are procedures, there are approved materials for people in the historic district. So it's certainly incumbent upon property owners to know what those laws, rules, and guidelines are, to know that the properties are in the historic district. And that's all that we're trying to do, is follow the city laws, if you will. We work with applicants, we work with property owners and contractors and try to do the best we can.
right.
So that's all we're trying to do. And that,
And
like,
we know
like Anthony mentioned, there are some exceptions on a limited basis and special cases. But right now, I think we have the motion and the staff review. The best thing is just look at some alternatives as has been discussed, and we'll be happy to talk with you further.
Okay. Guess we were just hoping for that exception.
What we
Thank
feel
you.
badly about is that the real estate agents do not tell you when you bought your home what you were required to do in a historic district. And we have worked with them trying to get them to do that when they sell a property. But that's been very hard also.
So
When you acquire a short-term rental permit, those things are informed to you by our department.
I don't know, we haven't, and any of the permits that we pulled have never brought this up. So, I don't
So
know.
you don't have a short-term rental?
No, we do.
Yeah, we
Every year
do.
I applied. and
It's never been brought up.
Given or mentioned, so wherever in the system, that's not working, so. So are we
Okay.
on an agenda for next month
Yes,
automatically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when is that, the third?
Madam Chair,
yes.
It's the 24th.
24th, thank you.
which is 20 days from now. And the motion says a 30-day extension, so we need to consider that because the 24th is 20 days from
Yeah.
today, not 30. So I give you the option. You can say that he should report, the petitioner should report back to discuss this further at our March meeting on March 24th, or it could be held over until the April meeting to give them that extra time.
Well, I seconded the motion for the purposes of continuing discussion, but I'll withdraw my second so the motion can be amended appropriately for the next regularly scheduled meeting date of the Historic Preservation Commission.
Anthony, can you?
I would like to amend my motion to include that this application or this applicant be held over to the April meeting.
Need a second.
To the April meeting?
Third.
Do
You mean
want
the
April
March
or do you
meeting?
want March?
March?
March, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay. So the motion is to be on the agenda for the March meeting. Do we have a second?
And the date of that is,
March 24th.
March 24th.
then I'll second that.
All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed?
I'll
Sorry.
send you a bunch of information tomorrow. So,
Okay.
and
By
then
mail or email or?
email. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'd
So-
also like to suggest that you look into tax credits if you haven't already done that. Because there's energy tax credits you can get and historic preservation tax. So look into that because that might help offset the cost of doing the right windows versus the less expensive windows.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
I don't. think
Guys,
we do.
need to, sorry,
Yes,
you need to,
yeah, we did.
call for
voted.
the vote,
We did, we voted.
Yeah, we did.
but you have a person on via Zooms, which means you have to call them individually.
I'm sorry, we never had that before. Okay. All in favor, Amy,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Dan,
Yes.
Larry,
Aye.
and so anyone opposed? Then it's carried. Thank you.
So from this point, actually, is it the inspection department that would deal with any kind of fines or anything like that?
I would,
What's that?
the planning and inspection department would definitely,
Inspection part. Okay, so I just talked to them then. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
but I will be, vigilant. I will be vigilant.
Okay, we'll move on to the next C of A.
Okay, this is COA 2025-007 for Candace Nelson. The property's 218 East 8th Street. Contributing building gable front. We've seen this one before, just not for this particular project. So the proposed project is building a deck towards the rear on the alley side of the house. Finding of fact, an 8 by 8 foot wood deck was approved for this location in 2023. That was the original steps. That was removed. So if you look at the next there. So I think you'll all remember this when we were talking about putting in French doors and how that was going to look. And so the deck that was approved in 2023 would have been 8 by 8, and to get a 6-foot French door in there and an 8-foot deck, obviously the deck had to become longer. So that's why we're revisiting it. It's similar project, different size. So same materials, same design. They're now proposing an 8 by 12-foot deck, wood with steps on one end. So similar, but just longer. So the recommended motion is approval as submitted.
Thank you. Any questions? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Want to call the names?
Hmm.
Right.
Okay, I guess we need to call it. And Anthony,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Dan,
Yes.
Larry,
Aye.
opposed? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, maintenance review.
Okay, we've got 2 of those. So the first one, 2024-005, is for 832 Pine Street. This is a second floor deck. And this is one Kyle and I discussed considerably with them, but the approval was never written. Wooden decks on the rear of properties can be approved by staff, and this met the requirements for that. It's going in the exact same location as a previous deck that had just absolutely disintegrated. So that was approved by staff. We just didn't write the formal approval before, so I just did that one. And then the other one is for 119 East 9th. So that's 2025-006, and again, a deck. I think deck season is upon us. So again, they had asked for and had approval for a different deck in the back, and they came back looking for one that's slightly smaller, 3 by 3, and adding an additional step to that. So again, wood deck, back of the house, was approved by staff.
Any questions from anyone? Okay. Any other COBs that are in progress?
The one 813, I want to say Franklin, that was here, Lena, that was here last time, a week ago. I have talked to her since. She's getting revised drawings, but her architect was out of the country right at the time. So she said she would try to get something for this meeting, but she thought it unlikely. So we'll be seeing her again at our regular meeting later this month.
Okay, we'll go to number 11, new business. The paint workshop has been scheduled for Saturday, April the 19th at 10 o'clock at the Michigan City Fire Administration Building on the boulevard like we had the last one. And we will get it in the paper and on the computer. Yes,
And that is open to the public.
yes.
Right, definitely. We definitely want the public to attend. Is it something, do they want us to come in from the back side of the building? I know last time we had just craziness with
Yeah.
people coming from both sides of the building. The
Yes.
back is the preferred
That's-
entrance.
That's the one that we will have a key to.
Okay,
So we will put that in there too, that you enter in the back. And the parking lot's back there too, so, okay. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry.
The meeting minutes. You can wait.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to get done, so we. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you, Dan.